Hello, I am Vee, and I will be presenting on how to build an esports gaming PC. I will go over the components, some helpful resources, an overall budget, the processes of building the PC, and peripherals. As for components, you want to get a solid PC case, which houses the components and may provide additional fan cooling. CPU, which is the processor of the whole system. AMD Ryzen and the Intel Core processors are very popular. Then you also need a CPU cooler. GPU, the graphics card, generates the graphics in the system. NVIDIA, GeForce, and AMD Radeon are very popular. As for the motherboard, it connects all the components, and you have to make sure all the components are compatible with the motherboard and each other. As for storage, mostly today, solid state drives are used due to their faster booting and loading times. For power supplies, you have to make sure it can pull enough wattage for the components in the system. And for RAM, that's temporary short-term memory, and it should be at least 16 gigabytes to 64. And for fans, they can provide extra cooling so that the components do not overheat. Some helpful resources. One website that's really helpful that I used for building my PC was PC Part Picker, because it like shows the compatibility between all the parts and where you can find them online. Another good resource is YouTube for finding like video builds and like how-tos and like you can build along with them. Some good subreddits are r/build-a-PC and r/PC master race. And you can ask questions if you're stumped, and there's even guides on there. And then also your local Best Buy or Micro Center, the employees there could walk you through the whole process as well. As for a budget, a typical mid-tier PC build can cost on average $2,124, and a top-tier gaming PC costs an average of $3,528. But in terms of GPUs and monitors, it shouldn't make much of a difference for popular games like most titles played in esports. These games are designed to run on most computers, so a high-performing computer is not needed. So for the process of building the PC, a lot of people think it's super difficult, but it's pretty straightforward if you have all the parts that are compatible together, and you would know that by researching all this beforehand. So you want to gather all your parts and mount the motherboard into the PC case first, and then install the CPU into the motherboard and the CPU cooler. And then insert the RAM, graphics card, install hard drives, and lastly, connect the power supply. And then you can work on cable management after that by tucking away cables and clipping them together to avoid a whole mismanaged mess. And then you can also install additional fans or water cooling components. And then you want to install the operating system and drivers for all the components. And then finally, you want to boot it up and test it and make sure everything's up to par. And a nice benchmark tester is Cinebench. As for peripherals, these are very important for esports gamers. The monitor probably being the most important. You want to get a monitor with low response rate and high refresh rate. And some of the best on the market can offer 1 ms response time and fast refresh rates. And curved monitors tend to be better on the eyes. As for the keyboard and mouse, it's mostly personal preference, but make sure to buy from reputable brands. Chair, you want something that has good ergonomics and that doesn't break your back. As for microphone and headphones, it has to be good enough quality for streaming. And here are my works cited. And thank you for listening.